with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We're looking at the Wednesday 7-game main slate. Grande, how are we doing, man? It's been a little bit since I've done the preview show. I returned from vacation to do the live show on Tuesday. We broke that slate down, but time to take a look at Wednesday's 7-gamer.
Yeah, time to look ahead, not reverse. Nope. Time to look, I don't know, doesn't matter. Doing good. Doing good. I have enjoyed the same 7-game slate we've had basically all week long, and that has been a good number. That is our wheelhouse, as we've talked about extensively. So it's fun. A lot of big time names and another slate that we're dealing with massive news implications. Jokic twisted his ankle. Did you see how he twisted his ankle against Boston? You were in Europe,
yeah,
so I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see it, no.
So it was on the opening jump ball, and he played through it. Like he landed awkwardly, and then just played. But he limped through the first large portion of the game. But obviously, him being questionable is big.
Sure.
Sabonis is out already, and Tatum's questionable too. So and Ja and Triple J's out for a week. And Jalen's there is a lot of big news. Milwaukee's second leg of a back-to-back. We know that we've seen, Minnesota second leg of a back-to-back. Randall didn't play their last back-to-back. So a lot to be.
Dallas on this slate, Kyrie Irving torn ACL.
Dude, they are going to be the worst team moving forward, bar none.
Yeah, AD considered being shutting down already,
Well, and all their ancillary pieces. PJ's out, Exum's out, Hardy's out. I mean, it's going to be Kai Jones season, John, moving forward for Dallas. I don't know if you saw that when you were.
I did. I saw.
Our boy Moses is gone. Our boy Moses is gone.
Yeah. Well, that guy got his back from Dallas one time already, so
Sure.
Jokic is your top guy. We'll see if he plays 12-2. Giannis is 11K, SGA 10-8, and then Tatum 10K. Takes us the point guard. Again, SGA is 10-8. You got LaMelo at 96. Lillard 9K. Again, back-to-back there. Cleveland's on a back-to-back. They're 8,800. You got Miami with Tyler Hero at 87. And Ja rounding out the 8K tier at 8,300 bucks.
Yeah, SGA has now had 4 50-point games in the last I think 6 weeks, month and a half. So if you want to play SGA, he's very good at basketball. Play SGA. Really good pace environment in this game. No Jaren Jackson obviously means potentially the defensive player of the year is not in the center of that defense. So if you want to play SGA, by all means, great play. LaMelo Ball, 8,600. Played a full complement of minutes. Still not going to play back-to-backs, but if he's going to play 34 minutes against whatever version of this Minnesota team is playing, then I have interest in Ball 9,600. We'll see on Dame if he plays. I think 9K is too cheap for Damian Lillard. Having another really good game, decent game. I shouldn't say really good.
Yeah.
Decent game on the Tuesday slate. So I'm down with basically everyone in that 9K and up tier. Shea obviously standing out.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, again, the upside, that Memphis matchup against OKC currently. No, I don't see a total for that one. I don't see any totals for tomorrow. So maybe you got them.
What game were you looking for? I have all the totals.
Okay, Memphis OKC.
246.5.
There you go. Yeah, I'm changing where I was looking. See if I can pull these up now. Better than ESPN had nothing for me, but I see covers. Covers has it. As you mentioned there, the 247.5 on covers. So we'll see which one ends up being correct there. Mid-range group, I guess, is the next question here for us. I mean, You have the Boston guards. If there's no Tatum, you have Utah versus Washington, which certainly would be quite appealing. Where do you think you're looking to go here?
So one, I think it's this is a very prime Cleveland rest spot. I think we're going to see a lot of Cleveland rest moving forward. They've pretty much solidified the 1 seed, right? Like they are up a lot. We'll see what Cleveland's going to do. Could definitely see Mitchell or Garland. If Ja plays, then I would obviously have a lot of interest in Ja Morant. The shoulder's obviously a little bit of a concern. He has clearly dealing with something with the shoulder. But if he plays 8,300, great game environment, love that. Jamal Murray would be one of the better plays of the slate if Jokic doesn't play. I mean, he'd play 40 minutes. That they're still trying to fight for the 2 seed. No real lean on whether Jokic plays or not, but he legit hurt his ankles. So that's,
Yeah, the playing 39 is so crazy though, right?
I think it's different because it was an adrenaline dump, right?
Sure.
He's able to play through it without multiple days of rest in between,
Sure.
where your ankle can swell up. Where if you're not taking your shoe off at that time, you're not giving that chance for it
to swell. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Jokic, but obviously you can play Murray with or without Jokic, but obviously in play. Yeah, Boston's interesting. I think 4 starters, actually all 5 starters are on the injury report. Peyton Pritchard is on the injury report, even though it's listed as probable. I think Horford, of their top 7, is the only guy not listed on the injury report. Obviously, Derek White and Pritchard would be as elite as possible if they don't play their guys. I honestly wouldn't care if Tatum and Brown get ruled out and Porzingis. I would just load up on as many possible shares as Derek White and Pritchard and Hauser and whoever's available, honestly, because those 2 guys, 3, including Porzingis, shoulder so much of the load offense.
Sure. No, I agree with 100%. Obviously, and it's a good matchup here for them at home against Portland. I think the Utah guards would just be chalky. I think everyone looks to go there.
I think they're all out, right? Everyone else, they already ruled out a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Utah. They already ruled out Sexton. They already ruled out Markkanen, Kessler, Collins. Yeah, yep. They're starting 5. That's their starting 5 out.
Yeah. You got Collier and you got George.
Deontay,
they're in that 64-63 against Washington there. Thoughts on sort of the value tier? Poole got ruled out already, so I imagine Carrington on the other side of that matchup would just be a hammer play too.
Yeah, the minutes were great to see because, it was kind of what were they going to do? Is Marcus Smart ever going to get more minutes than what he's played? And they haven't decided to do that. They've instead gone more into the Carrington well because this is the 2nd straight game Poole's missed or 3rd straight. Mm-hmm. And now we're just okay, they're not extending Marcus Smart. They're going to extend Carrington. He's fine. 5,300. I definitely have to like the shot volume the last 2 games. This is obviously a better spot. Just needs to make shots.
How far we've come since he was an opening day starter and everybody was scrambling to put him in their lineup.
He was, and an unannounced opening day starter, right? Wasn't he just
3K?
Yeah,
in the starting lineup, and everybody jammed him in, and I think he sucked.
Yeah, I think
you mentioned Cleveland. We don't know what's going to go on, but if anybody sits, Ty Jerome obviously ends up benefiting there if you get Mitchell or Garland out at $5,300. Likewise for Pritchard. They're not in Portland, obviously, but he's an Oregon guy who faces Portland here. If he ends up being in the lineup and people would be ruled out, he'd be appealing. And then you get to Dallas, where now you have Spencer Dinwiddie at $5,100. No Jaden Hardy, right? No Kyrie Irving. There's just it's the Dinwiddie show here moving forward.
Najee Marshall, Klay Thompson, Max Christie, Dinwiddie, Kai Jones, Edwards, Powell, Prosper, Brandon Williams. So if Caleb Martin does not play, they have 9 available.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Against a Milwaukee team at a back-to-back that could sit Giannis here, right? Like,
and Dame
yeah.
potentially, and Kuzma, who is questionable going into, like, they could just rest everybody, right? Yeah, he's a good play.
Yeah,
I got nothing. I got nothing else really. He's a good play.
Anything else for value here? Does Conley sit a back-to-back? Do we get something there?
Probably. DiVincenzo played the last back-to-back, so if we wanted to play DDV 58. Denver started Westbrook the other day, 5,700. I believe Aaron Gordon is questionable again. So if Aaron Gordon were to sit, I'd go back to the Westbrook. I'd go Westbrook. What do we got for Grant? If they sit Jeremy Grant again, Scoot Henderson would be okay. I don't love the minutes against Philly, but I love them against Cleveland. So Scoot, we know, is a tournament option. If no Ja Morant, Luke Kennard started last game, played 35 minutes, and Scottie Pippen's questionable. Scottie started the game prior and was really good. So I guess TBD on who's the starter, but Kennard is the more expensive, better position eligibility. So I'd lean that direction if picking between the two. And then we all but likely see Alec Burks starting again. It's not as fun as it's been because he was like near min salary, but 4,300 Alec Burks likely in the starting lineup. I think that's fine.
Sure. Shooting guard. Edwards 93. Got Donnie Mitchell, 88. A lot of these guys dual positional eligibility. Bain, Brown. Zach LaVine is $7,900. Pretty good spot here against Denver for him. What do you think on a shooting guard?
Yeah, Ant in a great spot. Have to see on Donnie and the rest of the gang. I don't know who's going to play in that game for Cleveland because I suspect we're starting to get some resting players moving forward for Cleveland. I'd be good going to Hero. They look bad offensively, but no Wiggins again, no Khalil Ware. We're going to see monster minutes from Tyler Hero in a competitive game. And you know what? For what it's worth, like, I suspect Evan Mobley is going to be back, but the Chicago Bulls scored 58 points on the Cleveland Cavaliers at half. Like, it's a really good pace game. If we get arresting anybody for Cleveland, I'm interested in Hero. Desmond Bane is probably John. I must say, Jaren Jackson Jr. has already been ruled out. Have you heard?
I did.
Did you know that Ja Morant also happens to find himself on the injury report?
I saw that, yeah.
John, the world is my oyster.
Coming off of a 35-point triple-double?
Yes, and the critical turnover that lost him the game with the Great Barrier Thief. But $8,000, I understand it's a tough spot, but if it's just Desmond Bane, and friends, I think even against OKC, we'd have to at least consider it.
Yep, I know, 100%, $8,000, no arguments with you there. Again, I mentioned LaVine. Again, had some really big games. That team is going to fluctuate, but like you said, there's no Sabonis already,
and possibly no Malik Monk.
Yeah, and possibly no Malik Monk, who continues to be a scoring threat when on the floor. You have your Portland guys against Boston, which could be tougher even if Boston, again, is sort of in a little bit of an up and down slump. Yeah, Koulibaly here against Utah. What do we think happens at shooting guard?
It's not Koulibaly, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
That's not for me.
The minutes have been great.
Yeah, he's just too inconsistent. It's fine if you want to go there. I shouldn't poo-poo it too much. Anthony Simons has been good scoring the basketball. We know he goes into stretches where he just lights the world on fire. If there's no Jeremy Grant, we're going to see Shaedon Sharpe continue to start. He's also been lighting the Nets on fire. 20, 18, 25, 36 actual for Shaedon Sharpe in his last 4. So if you want to play either of those Portland guys, by all means do so. Toumani Camara has also been fine. we know the minutes are what they are with Tumani Kamara. So you could play any of them. I don't know if obviously you didn't, but in the Knicks game, Christian Brown, John, played, or not the Knicks game, in the Boston game, Christian Brown played 46 of 48 regulation minutes. And DraftKings is rounding up.
Okay.
That is regulation. That is not
He didn't come off the floor, huh?
No. If Aaron Gordon is out, I know Peyton Watson was upgraded to questionable and whatnot, but we have now seen if there's anyone out, I mean, Christian Brown's just the guy.
Whether it's Westbrook or Gordon, right? Brown's just playing all of the minutes here.
Yep. So Christian Brown, I think, is really interesting. Clay, he's one of the 9 available bodies. Same thing with Max Christie, one of the 9 available bodies. Max Christie will have a higher ceiling in terms of minutes. Clay probably just can be better offensively. So
DraftKings had time to adjust the pricing on this, by the way. The Irving torn ACL was announced this morning.
Yep.
And they didn't touch anybody on Dallas's pricing.
No, they didn't. No.
So they're all going to be probably mega chalk, I would imagine, here against Milwaukee.
Yeah, especially if they just have 9 guys and one of them's Brandon Williams, right? Like that's probably a fair assessment.
Value at the shooting guard position?
Value at the shooting guard position. Thankfully, you can play Kennard here. We'll see if Miami starts Terry Rozier again. I'd bet on some Terry Rozier at 35 minutes if he started again. But we'll have to see if Davion's out. Before you bet on Terry Rozier, see if he bets on himself.
Sure.
Max, allegedly. Same thing with Duncan Robinson. If Miami's without Davion, we should see Duncan just continue to play monster minutes. He's not starting. They just feel comfortable bringing Duncan off the bench, but 30, 32, 29, 33 minutes for Duncan Robinson in 4 straight games.
Whenever he's gotten minutes, we've largely liked the production here. So
yes, the production has largely followed suit. Agreed. So we finally got the Vince Williams minutes game when Jaren Jackson went out. And I think that's probably, there was also Santi Aldama out in that game as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see on the Aldama front because he is listed as questionable. But if there's no Aldama, no Ja, no Jack, Triple J, Vince Williams is going to play big minutes because he is, him and Jalen Wells are a nightmare defensively. So would like some Vince at 42 if we get there. Pelle Larson played 28 minutes for the Heat the other day. Again, super foul happy guy. But if they have the same, I believe there's a chance they have 9 like they did the other day. But I guess we'll see about the G Leaguers. No Wiggins, no Ware, no Jovic, no Jaquez. So they might look pretty similar to as they did the other day if Davion's rolled out. So could be interested in some Pelle Larson too.
Sure. Small forward. Jalen Williams, $8,200. Again, Jaylen Brown's $8K. You get DeRozan at $7,400. McDaniels up to $7K. Guess we'll see if Minnesota sits anybody else other than Conley potentially here. Like you said, Randall possibly not going to play on a back-to-back here. So maybe a good spot, even though the price is up on McDaniels there. A lot of these guys we've kind of touched on. Anybody you want to kind of core build around?
It would be the Sacramento guys, just depending on. I already like DeRozan. I already like Levine. If Monk's out, those would be the 2 guys I gravitate right to. So core build for me would be the Kings. If I already like them quite a bit, they have really good numbers without Sabonis. But if Monk is out, that would be options 1 through 5 for me.
Sure. And obviously, if Jokic was out, MPJ.
Yes.
At $6,500 would be a easy plug on the other side of that matchup.
Yeah. Yes.
All of Dallas will be in play. Hunter could be the leading shot taker for Cleveland if they sit like Mitchell in this game.
Yep.
$5,800 looks good for him there. Anybody else?
Yeah. If Milwaukee rests people and Kuzma's actually been pretty good for them.
Sure.
So Kuzma. I don't know game to game what OKC is going to do. You never know what OKC is going to do with rest. We know Caruso's out and possibly Isaiah Joe. Aaron Wiggins would be, has just immersion to a player that I don't know if anyone envisioned him being. He is legitimately just really good.
If you give a guy consistent 25 minutes, you'd be surprised sometimes like how productive he can be with that consistent role, right? Like,
yeah, he is just scoring. I mean, the scoring has just been kind of absurd.
Always kind of been a bucket. He has a 50 actual point game in this season, doesn't he? So or
40,
40 actual?
41, 44?
41 actual, yeah, fantasy point game here. So always could be a bucket, but they would just like play around with how often he would come off the bench. If they just stuck him to be their sixth man, then like you're seeing some consistency there. So same thing with Strus. If other guys were to sit out, Strus would be kind of an interesting play there.
And Gigi Jackson played 28 minutes, was the immediate sub for Triple J. He's $4,000. He played 28 minutes. Again, have to wait on Santi.
Yeah.
But
Aldama would probably be the guy, right?
Yeah, Aldama started and almost triple-doubled last week. He would be like definitively the guy. I'm also just thinking like they are potentially down like a bunch of rotation pieces. Like if Josh sits and Triple J's out, and like let's say Pippen sits, I mean, there's a lot of potential for that Minnesota rotation there.
Do you think we see anything from Shannon here, second leg of a back-to-back?
Anything from Shannon? I guess it just depends on who's in and who's out.
Okay, because obviously he had that epic 3-game run there. While I was away. Anything else for you? I mean, obviously, injury news dependent on a lot of some of these guys.
Sensabaugh should start. He played 31 minutes the other day. It's 21 actual. He started in the New Orleans game. I'd assume that's the role we're going to get from him, just given that they're down 5 starters. Okay. Who else did they start in that game? They started KJ Martin. I think KJ Martin's a power forward. They started Juzeg.
Yeah, Juzeg, Martin, Collier, Filipowski, Sensabaugh.
Yeah, and that is so Sensabaugh for me at 43. He'll get some ownership behind him too.
Alrighty. Power forward. Giannis, we'll see on a back-to-back 11K is having an okay night, not having a monster night, but having a pretty good night. Could probably finish with a triple-double here, and there's a whole fourth quarter to go. Got Tatum, as you mentioned, questionable, but if he plays and other people sit, he'd be a really high upside play against Portland here. What do we think at the top of power forward?
Yeah, if Giannis plays for sure, if Tatum plays for sure, both guys look great. I know we've had an issue with Bam, but they are down a lot of guys, and he would have had a cool 60 if he had to play full complement of minutes there. So I'm interested in Bam 89. I like Bridges, don't love him.
Go Chet.
On the court. Yeah, Chet for sure, full complement of minutes. He's looked great. Like if someone sits for Miami, Evan Mobley should play on the second leg of a back-to-back. He was just ruled out for rest. That was the only reason he didn't play. So Mobley at 83 would stand out quite a bit. Now we'd go right back to the Naz Reid assuming Julius Randle is out, just given,
and the Charlotte matchup in general.
Yeah, the matchup in general, but like we kind of were like, on the price with Julius Randle available.
Yeah.
But if there's no Randle, and we don't know that, but assuming they give Randle a rest after only being back for 2 games and that he sat the last back-to-back, it's definitely plausible to think that. So if there's no Randle and Gobert, who's clearly, he's getting ruled out early in the day. That back is clearly not good right now. So if there's no Gobert, no Randle, fire up Naz Reid all day long.
Okay. Again, I mentioned Chet there having that huge game a couple of games ago. If Randle was to play, you'd play Randle at $6,500 against Charlotte for sure there. All these guys we've kind of touched on. I mean, I would play Aaron Gordon if he was active at 54. I like that price on him still. Anything else for you?
Keegan looks okay at 53. Didn't have to play a lot, obviously, in the Dallas game. But no Sabonis, possibly no Malik Monk, just naturally progression there for him. Sensabaugh we talked about. KJ Martin, 41. He played 26 minutes against New Orleans. He was like really bad, but he should start. I guess I don't know what they would do. Would Trey Lyles be extended? Probably not. Would Laravia be extended if a situation like, is Marco Fultz the starting point guard? I guess Keon Ellis would be the point guard if there's no Monk.
Yeah.
Omax Prosper. I don't know what Dallas is really.
We have to see what a lineup looks like, right? Before
we fully like dive into Dallas.
What Dallas is going to do, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
All right. Center, maybe Jokic at 12-2. If Jokic is in, though, obviously a no-brainer.
Yep.
Not having to deal with Sabonis and just him being just an elite monster in general.
Yeah.
In one of the higher game totals on the board, so you definitely play some Joker there, and then you go down to the mid range. I like Mark Williams. Do you like Mark Williams? Getting over 30 minutes.
He has been quite good. He has been quite good.
Not having to deal with Gobert,
and apparently just not injured. I don't know.
Yeah, not injured. I mean, they said that. If Porzingis was the play, and he's doubtful, but with the illness, but if he was to suit up, maybe some interest there. J Val, 64.
Yes.
Chalky played the other day. Continue to be chalky.
Yeah, it's easy. Easy peasy.
6,400. Not an easy matchup, but it's good.
I mean, not easy because.
Well, I mean, he's gonna have to defend Jokic.
Yeah, I know.
He'll score. We know that. I'm not worried about Jokic's defense.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Jonas on the other side of the floor.
It's fair. Yeah, I mean, but who are they going to if Joe Val's not on the floor?
I agree. Klingon here playing a bunch of minutes, obviously.
Yeah, he was good. He was great the other day.
And if Boston's down, he'll have to deal with Horford and Cornette probably.
Dude, Filipowski's been so good.
I know.
So good. When he gets extended, even with last game, he wasn't extended. He smashed.
Yeah, and it's the Washington matchup, so.
And it's the Washington matchup. Yeah.
He's the one. Other side of that gives you Sarr. Has his moments as well.
Yep. Edey, I think we're probably in for more Zach Edey moving forward.
Yeah, Triple J's out. I mean, that just takes away that rotation.
He's out for a week.
No. I'm saying with him out, right? Like it takes away that rotation. So I'm with you there on the Edey play. Then you mentioned Kai Jones. I mean, 34 minutes.
Dude, he was literally their best player.
All he does
is dunk. And all he does is dunk. If he gets an opportunity.
Talent was ever the problem. He just needed to get his meds right, and like
he was a little mentally checked out. Yes, I will. Yes, mentally. I will go with mentally checked out. That's what I will go with.
Al Horford playing Boku minutes right now because the no Porzingis. $4,800 for Big Al.
They were able to rest him all first half of the year. He barely had to play. It's fine.
Anything else?
I mean, if there's like a bunch of guys out, like Neemias Queta has been playing a lot more for Boston lately.
Sure.
Probably nothing else though.
Okay. Cornette 31 minutes.
They might go double big and start Cornette. If they start Cornette, then yes, sure.
Okay. Let's get a lineup going. Are we just playing Joker here, or what are we doing?
Are we playing Joker? We don't have to.
Not ruled out. He played 39 minutes. I'll count him as in. We'll go down to like Dinwiddie, Carrington. Give us like Filipowski, I guess. I guess we'll double center.
Yeah. Sensabaugh. Probably just get a couple Utah in an elite spot there.
Plus, we need the value anyway. Small forward.
I do think like no Triple J. We have to take a look at like
Spain,
Vince, GG, Santi, like something in that.
Well, I mean, I'm a Santi guy, but Santi's up to $6,400. So
yeah,
I mean, if we can fit him, that would give us 56. Could play two if you think that's how that goes. Like go with Vince Williams and Santi Aldama, and that gives us a
7K guard.
7K guard George.
Yeah, and there's like so much news to come. So like,
yeah, well, we're building around the Joker. Shocker.
yes.
Dinwiddie, Carrington, Williams, Sensabaugh, Jokic, George, Aldama, and Filipowski is the example lineup for everybody here. $600 left over. James and I will be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We appreciate you all tuning in here each and every day. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys later.